thought maybe you want me to push you up.
Is it this?
Hold on, let me do it.
Okay.
You were kind of low down. I saw you.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. That's what I said. I put mine up too. So I can, that's like, wow, you're kind of low tonight.
Suddenly we're taller.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay.
Okay, it's 7.
Okay. She usually do that. It is now 7 o'clock, and I'll call the meeting to order. May I please get a roll call?
All counselors are present. Kevin Levy will be showing up a little bit late.
Thank you. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. After the pledge, please remain standing as we take a moment of silence to recognize all of those who have been impacted by recent tragic events. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3 is special orders of the day and announcements. 3A is Proclamation 2023-001, recognizing Stan Van Hoos.
Councilor Vice President Forbeck will read the proclamations.
Whereas Stan Van Hoos was born on November 12th, 1920 in Theoclaw, Kentucky, the youngest of 5 children, and whereas Mr. Van Hoos passed away on January 7th, 2023 at the age of 102 in Beloit, Wisconsin, and whereas he was raised in the poverty-stricken mountains of eastern Kentucky, the son of a coal miner and moonshiner, which created in him a toughness and value system to recognize right from wrong. And whereas Mr. Van Hoos enlisted in the Navy on August 20th, 1940, as one and was one of the few remaining veterans who survived the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, and whereas he was discharged from the Navy on August 20th, 1948, having participated in multiple battles over the course of World War II, receiving 4 battle stars and serving on 4 different ships. And whereas, along the way, Mr. Van Hoos and Veronica Borsek married in 1943, moved to Beloit in 1948, where he worked for Kirby Vacuum Cleaner Company for 10 years before establishing his own business, the Van Hoos Company, which sold paint for 38 years, retiring in 1996. And whereas Vernie had passed away after 55 years of marriage, and in 1999, Mr. Van Hoos married Virginia Williams, who passed away in 2014. And whereas Mr. Van Hoos contributed many volunteer hours in classrooms to relate his experience at Pearl Harbor and throughout World War II. And whereas he was a member of Our Lady of the Assumption Catholic Church and a very active member of the 4th Degree Knights of Columbus, Monsignor Joseph Hahn's Assembly, number 1209. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that the Beloit City Council does hereby recognize Stan Van Hoos's heroic and patriotic contributions to World War II and his unselfish willingness to share his story with our youth, as well as his participation in vest roll activities. Be it further proclaimed that the Beloit City Council and residents of Beloit extend sincere condolences to Stan Van Hoos's family and friends on his passing. We are thankful that he shared a long and productive life within our community, making Greater Beloit a better place to live, work, play, and do business. He will long be remembered and admired. presented the 6th day of February 2023.
And I just want to add a comment before you move on and just say we're grateful for the service of Stan Van Hoos. It's amazing that he lived to be 102 years old. I'm just honored that I had the opportunity to meet and talk with him when we were going through the activities for the USS Beloit ceremony. He loved his country, our country, and his fellow service members. So I also want to say thank you to Mark Finnegan. I know Mark may be at home watching. He wanted to be here this evening. But we want to thank Mark, too, and Vets Row for shining a light on Stan's efforts. So thank you for reading
Great.
that.
3B is Proclamation 2023-002, congratulating Beloit Health System for achieving a classification as a Level 3 Trauma Center.
Whereas Beloit Health System is an independent community health system serving northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin, and whereas Beloit Health System offers facilities and services to promote, restore, or maintain the health of residents in the communities they serve, and whereas Beloit Health System recently earned the Level 3 Trauma Classification, which is the highest rating in Rock County, and whereas a Level 3 Trauma Center demonstrates the ability to provide prompt assessments, resuscitation, surgery, intensive care, and stabilization of injured patients and emergency operations, and whereas a Level 3 Trauma Center includes 24-hour immediate coverage by emergency medicine physicians and the prompt availability of general surgeons and anesthesiologists, and whereas a Level 3 Trauma Center provides continued trauma education for nursing and allied personnel, including the trauma team, and whereas a Level 3 Trauma Center integrates a comprehensive quality assessment program, is involved with prevention efforts, and must have an active outreach program for its referring communities. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Beloit City Council heartily congratulates Beloit Health System for achieving their recent classification as a Level 3 Trauma Center and recognizes the impressive commitment of the entire health system team on their dedication to quality care for trauma patients in the greater Beloit area. Adopted this 6th day of February 2023.
And we can have the staff from Beloit Health System to come up, please, and introduce yourself and
Hi.
share some words with us.
Sure. My name's Carmen Breyer. I'm the trauma coordinator for the hospital. I've been the trauma coordinator for the last 5 years, so I really enjoy it. It's my passion. Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
for
you.
bringing that.
And you have some other staff there. Can you just stand and just say who you are and so everybody knows?
Sharon Cox, I'm the Vice President, Chief Nursing Officer at Beloit Health System, and I want to say thank you to all their engagement, collaboration with us also, because it takes a community.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Nicole Clark. I'm the director of the ER, and I work closely with Carmen.
So we have all the really special people here. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to just add a statement and just say, you know, it's a stressful time with the shortage of medical staff throughout the nation, but it's great to know that we can count on Beloit Health System to continue to care for our community. Dealing with trauma is not easy, but we are glad that you are doing everything you can to save lives. We appreciate you and we thank you.
Amen.
3C is Proclamation 2023-003, proclaiming February 2023 as Black Resistance, A Journey to Equality Month.
Whereas in 1915, the father of Black history, Carter Godwin Woodson, founded the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, and in 1926 proposed the celebration of Negro History Week, the precursor to the modern-day Black History Month. And whereas Dr. Woodson encouraged a year-round and year-after-year study of African American history, and whereas 2023's Black History theme is Black Resistance, A Journey to Equality, and explores how African Americans have resisted historic and ongoing oppression in all forms, especially the racial terrorism of lynching, racial pogroms, and police killings since the nation's earliest days. And whereas Black people have sought ways to nurture and protect Black lives and for autonomy of their physical and intellectual bodies through armed resistance, voluntary emigration, nonviolence, education, literature, sports, media, and legislation/politics. And whereas Black-led institutions and affiliations have lobbied, litigated, legislated, protested, and achieved success. And whereas, through resistance, Black people have achieved triumphs, victories, and progress. And whereas, the contributions of Black people have enhanced all of our lives and improved quality of life through faith institutions, cultural centers, medicine, education, music, literature, politics, sports, and more. And whereas, through education and activism, let us commit ourselves to raising awareness of the multiple facets of Black people's journey to equality. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Beloit proclaims February 2023 as Black Resistance, A Journey to Equality Month in the City of Beloit, and encourages the support and participation of all citizens to observe this month with appropriate ceremonies, activities, and programs, adopted the 6th day of February 2023.
And if we could have, thank you. I was going to say we could have the NAACP representation to introduce.
Yes, I'm Sherry Pounds, Vice President of our NAACP, and I was told I have a few moments to say a few things. So, good evening. As Wisconsin's oldest NAACP branch, the Executive Committee of Branch 3251 would like to thank you for the honor of accepting the Black History Month proclamation on behalf of Beloit citizens, businesses, churches, community, and civic organizations. During the past year, our community has had several milestones to celebrate. The return of our Juneteenth celebrations, hosting our first in-person Freedom Fund banquet, the appointment of Ashley Morris, our first Black Rock County judge, and for the first time in our community's history, the installation of 3 African American City Council members and 3 African American School Board representatives. You are Black history. What a moment in time that our city representation has begun to mirror the diversity of our community. But this is only the beginning. In the next year, it is our goal to continue to strengthen our relationship with the City of Beloit Police Department, as well as establish relationships with surrounding law enforcement agencies within our community, including Janesville Police Department and the Rock County Sheriff Department. We'd like to support our local legislators in bringing awareness regarding the lack of prosecutors and public defenders in our judicial courts. This impacts and affects the lives of everyone in our community, but most noticeably, that's my word, underserved and marginalized populations. And to work with our new city manager, council, and staff in the recruitment, hiring, and retention of African Americans for City of Beloit employment opportunities. At this time, we would like our city leaders' help. We would like your support in several areas, including we ask that you and our community continue to support the existence and growth of Black-owned businesses, many which were developed during COVID and may continue to struggle. 2, we ask that you make an investment in infrastructure that impacts the neighborhood of all citizens of Beloit. One example is the much-needed resurfacing of several roads in our neighborhoods. And 3, We must stop the gentrification of our neighborhoods and work on establishing affordable and sustainable housing for all our community members. Again, we thank you for the proclamation. We invite everyone to support several events occurring in our community in celebration of Black History Month. In these turbulent times, the pushing back on critical race theory and the teaching of our accomplishments, our contributions, and history in schools, this is a time to remind everyone that Black history is American history. Therefore, Black history should be celebrated from January 1st to December 31st every year. Thank you.
Thank you. And if we could, before you move on, Vice President Forbeck, if we could have the other members from NAACP to please stand and be recognized. Please stand.
All right.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, while you're standing, or you can go ahead and be seated, but I just want to say thanks so much to the NAACP. Thank you, Sherry, for your words today. So passionate. Thank you. Thanks to the NAACP for your continued leadership and efforts in recognizing Black History Month. Together, we are recognizing the history and achievements of African Americans. And I am proud that the city of Beloit is able to be part of that. And you're right, we have 3 Black city councilors and the first Black chief of police, and that's just to name a few. We still have work to do, but we've made progress. So let's build on that and let's celebrate that with our entire community. So thank you.
Item 3D is Proclamation 2023-004, congratulating Culvers of Beloit on its 25th anniversary.
Whereas on January 28, 1998, Culvers of Beloit was opened and remains operated by Jim Agati and Bill Locke, who had backgrounds in service and hospitality and sought the opportunity to open a Culvers location in their hometown. And whereas, upon opening, Culvers of Beloit was the 60th location, whereas now Culvers locations across the United States number near 1,000. And whereas, throughout their 25 years, Culvers has been an outstanding civic partner, priding itself on being an employer of choice, friendly, clean, and active within the greater Beloit community. And whereas, over the years, the Beloit location has hosted countless fundraisers, events, literacy promotions, celebrations, and more to engage in their community, providing great food and outstanding service. And whereas Culvers and Beloit host weekly share nights, which financially benefit local nonprofit agencies and are a good example of the continued commitment to giving back to our community. And whereas Culver's True Blue Crew members learn the importance of work-life balance through the Culver's best-in-class training, coaching, and safe, respectable work environment, taking pride in their workplace and welcoming and serving customers with a smile. And whereas the present team continues to carry on that legacy while building their own career development and personal growth opportunities in a supportive, fast-paced environment with national training opportunities available. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Beloit, Wisconsin, does hereby acknowledge the generous contributions of Culvers of Beloit, congratulating them on their 25th anniversary and heartily thank them for providing jobs, consistently tasty food, and continuing to be a pillar of our business community while generously supporting our local economy. Presented the 6th day of February, 2022.
If you could have someone from Culver's come up, please. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, come on up. He'd just like for you just to share a few words.
You know, I guess if you know Bill and I, we're notorious for men of few words, so we'll make it short. But again, just, thank you for this recognition. It is very important to us. It's been a great 25 years. We've appreciated being embraced by the city of Beloit, the community of Beloit, and we have taken it as our responsibility from the beginning to know that it's as important for us to give back as it is to take. So we continue to do everything possible to participate in the community, and we will continue to do that for a lot more years. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead,
Well,
Bill.
he said everything I wanted to say, so that's good, but none of this really would have happened if we didn't have just a tremendous support behind us with our team members. We have team members been with us for 25 years, day oneers yet, and it's just a phenomenal experience to have them with us. So there's so many people we've had through our life the last 25 years have made us better. So I guess we should salute those that have helped us get us where we need to be. So, and this is a very humbling experience for us to have this, because it's a really humbling community to be part of. It's a great community. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to you all, Bill, we all know firsthand what you do. And if there's any cause or something that comes forward, you are always the first on it, whether it's veterans, children's programs, if it's the United Way, and you not only directly impact the United Way, but also the individual causes, the after-school programs, the Y, Boys and Girls Club. It's just like it's never ending. So I just want to say congratulations to Culver's and their blue team for providing a place to work, delicious food to eat, and for leading the way in supporting causes that enhance the quality of life for all of us. Keep up the great work, and thanks for stepping up and for positively impacting our entire community. Thank you. That said, I know that people may have things that they have to attend to today, and if you have to leave at this point, that's fine. But I just want to thank everyone tonight for coming out. So we are so happy for what you do for our community, each one of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Item 4 is public hearings. There are none. Item 5 is public comments.
We have reached the point on our agenda for residents to speak to the council about issues that are coming before us or may come before us in the near future. Council members may not act on any requests at this meeting, but may refer a speaker to staff for assistance. We ask that you please hold your comments to 3 minutes or less and refrain from personal attacks of any kind. Public comment is a courtesy, and we expect everyone to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Speakers are asked to complete a public comment form. Madam Clerk, were there any public comment forms submitted prior to our meeting?
No.
Are there any members of the public who wish to address the council this evening and you did not sign up? Madam Clerk, were there any public comments submitted by email?
Yes, there's one.
You can go ahead and read that, please.
Good evening, councilors. This is Brittany Keys, resident of Beloit and former city councilor 2020 to 2022, writing to ask for your consideration of Vision Zero. The premise of Vision Zero is to proactively invest in measures that help your community achieve the goal of zero motor vehicle related fatalities in a year. Similar to many communities throughout our country, infrastructure investments in city planning has catered to the ease and convenience of the motor vehicle versus pedestrian safety and ease of transportation without a personal vehicle. Widening streets, increasing the number of lanes, increasing speeds seems like would help moving traffic along and decrease congestion. But example after example shows that congestion doesn't decrease and safety is compromised. I bring this forward because there are numerous streets throughout our city adjacent to schools and neighborhoods that pose a high safety risk, and there are frequently used pedestrian crossings that are not adequately marked or staffed with crossing guards. This is a matter of life and death. This is a matter of community-shattering tragedy or just another day. Several weeks ago, I was driving to pick up my daughter from her elementary school. It was early release, so the pickup line queue was longer than usual. I was driving slow and decelerating as I was looking to turn onto a side street when a child ran out in front of me. I slammed on my brakes. My dog in the passenger side flew to the floorboards, and the child looked up terrified. After an exaggerated pause, I appreciated the school bus behind me, the kids scrambling to the sidewalk, my dog standing up, and yes, I was able to start breathing again. Once I was in the pickup queue, I fought back tears as I reflected on the blinding crossing that the child faced, how scared he must have been, and how we have to do better for all of our kids. I ask that you join me in being proactive with averting tragedy by completing street safety audits around all of our schools, proactively install painted crosswalks with pedestrian-activated blinking lights on the pedestrian signs to ensure safe crossing of busy roads by each of our schools. Consider adopting Vision Zero for our community. I appreciate your time and look forward to community discussions about how we can make our streets safer for every resident, child to senior, throughout the entire city of Beloit. Thank you again for your time, service, and consideration. Respectfully, Brittany Keys.
Thank you. And I believe we have someone else that wants to give a public comment. If you could come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Dorothy Harrell. I reside at 2284 Boulder Court in the city of Beloit. I just wanted to say something very complimentary about the gentlemen, and they're always men, who work at the recycling depot on Willowbrook Road. These are the most courteous, helpful people that the city of Beloit employs, so I don't know who hires them, but they deserve a round of applause. They're always there for you. They help you. They lift things for you, which is I find very helpful. But I just think it's very important that people who are doing a good job also be recognized. And those guys are really good at what they do. So thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who would like to come forward? At this time, public comment is now closed.
Item 6 is consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a councilor member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda items, including 6A through 6I? Is there a motion?
I so move.
Moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second?
I will second
Second by
Blakely.
Councilor Blakely. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
Item 7 is licenses. There are none. Item 8 is ordinances. 8A is consideration of ordinance number 3776, establishing all-way stop control at Bluff Street and St. Lawrence Avenue.
Okay, this is a second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented?
I move to approve.
Moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Terrell. Are there any questions or discussion?
I would just like to say something, Madam President,
Go ahead, Councilor Blakely.
especially with the public comment we received by email this evening. This is a positive step in the right direction and will help with some of those problems that the concerned mother and motorist wrote in about tonight. So thank you to the city for getting this set up. Thank you.
And I just want to echo that this will help to prevent accidents on that road. So at this time, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
8B is consideration of ordinance number 3775, establishing a crosswalk at White Avenue in LaSalle Street.
And this is a second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve this ordinance as presented?
I so move.
Moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Blakely. Are there any questions or discussion?
Once again, and sorry, Madam President.
Go ahead, Councilor Blakely, and then we'll go to Vice President Forbeck.
Okay, great. Ditto my earlier comment. Another step in the right direction for the safety of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Forbeck.
Well, I just want to remind the public that this is a slight change from what had been requested. And the reason it was changed, we have people who really understand traffic issues, and it's just been moved west down White, a block, so there is better sight lines going on when there's this crossing. So I think it's great.
Any other counselors have any other comments? And I just want to mention that this pedestrian crosswalk will make it safer for our residents. So at this time, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
Item 9 is appointments. There are none. Item 10 is counselor activities and upcoming events.
We'll start with Counselor Blakely.
Thanks, Madam President. There's a lot going on, especially as it is Black History Month. But in addition to that, I was able to drop by the second annual Rock County Jumpstart Accelerator Pitch event, which was held at Beloit Library. Gina Stevens, the founder and executive director of Rock County Jumpstart, was our host for the evening. There were 5 businesses that presented, and the 3 that were awarded grants were McCall Cooks, a health and wellness nonprofit focusing on racial disparities affecting Black women. The second place went to, oh, that's me. Stop that, Sherry. Okay. All righty. The second place went to Valencia Riley, a virtual reality arcade. Her proposal received second place and a $2,500 award. Third place went to Can Do Crew by Joseph Purnell, home remodeling business that works with veterans and formerly incarcerated individuals. It's a great event, and I was glad to be there for at least part of it. Something coming up, February 7th, is caring about our community. It's a continuing series of events. This one, February 7th, is on homelessness. It's held at Our Lady of Assumption Church, Assumption Hall on Chaupier Road, and it runs from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Presenters include Tammy King Johnson from Beloit College and Ann Citrick Joyce, Beloit Area Task Force on Homelessness. Just a couple more quick things I wanted to mention that are also important, though. And there may be others on the council who are going to bring this up. But the Beloit Coalition of Churches is celebrating Black History Month on a Saturday, February 18th event starting at 10 a.m. The topic is dismantling the cradle-to-prison pipeline. And the host is the Reverend Dr. Norris E. Jackson, Jr. And one of our own here, Kevin Levy, will also be speaking. That would be you, Mr. Levy. So that's Saturday, February 18th. And one other quick thing is held this Thursday night, which happens to be my birthday in case anybody's interested. Thursday, the Biff Reveal Party is being held at the Hampton Inn from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. There'll be light appetizers, free beer and wine. There is a $5 admission charge. There'll be just a short presentation to tell you about all the exciting things coming to the Beloit International Film Festival, which starts later this month on February 24th. But this Thursday from 5 to 7 at the Hampton Inn, and they'll have the new program booklets ready then too. They'll have a few trailers for some of the films coming up. And if you're interested in volunteering for our 10-day film festival, which attracts people from all over the world to Beloit, you'll have an opportunity there. You can also go to the Beloit International Film Festival website for more information. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor Blakely. Counselor Levy.
Thank you, and then thank you, Councilor Blakely, for that announcement. One of the things that I want to do as we look around what's happening in the world, and we often give kudos to our staff. So I want to thank Dorothy Harrell for your comments about our staff, because I think it is very important that when we have staff that are doing things right, that they need to be recognized and commended, because oftentimes we hear of the bad things that they do. They didn't move the snow in time. They waited down the street and waited till I shoveled my driveway and then plowed the snow at the end. The same thing happens to all of us sitting up here as well. But I want to give kudos definitely to all our staff for what you do each and every day. But I want to pay tribute to our Beloit Police Department tonight, that when you look at what's going on in the world, and what's happening with the shootings and the shooting of unarmed people, and the chaos that's going on in other cities. I'm proud that when you look at that, now I'm not gonna sit up here and say that our police are perfect, because I think they'll be the first ones to say, no, we're not perfect, we make mistakes. However, we're not making national news, and we're not doing some of the things that other police departments are doing. And I really credit that to training, and then as new people coming on, we're training them on de-escalation and other things. Yeah, we have work that needs to be done, but I just want to commend them and thank them that we are not on the news, that if people are breaking the law, we are handling it in a responsible way, and we're not doing what some of the other police departments are doing. I'm not passing judgment on any police department, but I'm just speaking about what we see in the news. And I just want to thank our police department that you're doing what you can each and every day to keep the city safe, but then also when you apprehend someone, from what we can tell, is doing it in a respectable way. So if you can definitely take that back to the entire shift, entire department, I would greatly appreciate it. So.
Thank you, Councilor Levy. Councilor Anderson.
Thank you, Madam President. That kind of reminds me of something I almost forgot, so thank you for mentioning that. I do appreciate the police department. I saw on social media today that they're sharing their statistics of calls for service, arrests, and pretty much every other stat, and I think that's really awesome that we're a very transparent police department. We're pretty lucky. I've talked to other folks across the state, and they don't have that opportunity to see what's going on in the police department like we do, so great job on that. I attended the Community Health Across the Lifespan event at Wesley CME Church. It was great to see so many different service providers there, just kind of highlighting what they had. They also gave out COVID shots as well, so making sure that the community also still has access to those. And I know that we're kind of on the back end of that, but it's still good then that we're keeping that in the back of our head, that we should keep getting those shots, so it's really important. And then the last thing I'll share is I went to the traffic study for the Highway 81 corridor, and that affects a huge chunk of our city. And I think when they laid it out almost block by block, you realize how big that corridor is. I mean, it goes from over by Liberty all the way to White and Milwaukee there. So it was great to see so many community members there. I was actually quite surprised when I walked in, and I struggled to find a seat. I had to sit next to our former colleague Mark Preschel. So that was the only seat left for maybe obvious reasons. But it was good to see so many different options that were provided. They're still moving on various steps on it, but it was good to see that there's different choices for the public to kind of weigh in on and make a good decision, because we all care about traffic safety, and I think the suggestions that were brought up, depending on what your preferences, will provide a lot of safety measures for our corridor there. So I'm very excited to see what comes out of that, and that ends my comment.
Thank you, Councilor Anderson. Councilor Day.
I just want to say one thing. I'll pick up where Kevin was talking about the guys and the ladies that plow our streets, take care of our streets during a snowstorm. I think they did an excellent job. So those people put a lot of time in those trucks, and I don't think they get the appreciation that they should get. So even though my driveway was plowed in too, that's fine. The street was clear. That's all good. But thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilor Day. Councilor Terrell.
All right. Don't want to be too long-winded, but it's just a few things I want to get out the way. First of all, I wanted to say happy belated birthday to President Duncan, who just turned 27. My son's birthday was on the 1st, and President Duncan's birthday was on the 2nd. So, just wanted to wish you a happy belated birthday. And I also wanted to mention about the Tyree Nichols situation in Memphis, Tennessee. There's so much I can say about that, but just to make a neutral statement about it, I want to say that our police department here in Beloit, to echo what Councilor Levy said, is ran pretty good. I'm very confident in our police chief, Andre Sales, and the work that he does to maintain a quality work environment and maintaining the city as far as like our residents and no controversies and things like that. Like Councilor Levy said, like, we don't have those issues here in the city of Beloit, and a lot of people are very thankful for it. I personally believe in personal accountability to individuals in trusted positions of power, rather be police officers, school leaders, government leaders, elected officials and whatnot. We all, wrong is wrong. And when we violate the law, I believe we should all be held accountable for our actions. So I just wanted to leave it there on that end. And as for, the month of February, it is Black History Month. There's a little bit of history sitting up here on the city council right now. Wanted to mention, this is, as was mentioned earlier, is the first time that we have had 3 African-American city council members sitting up here today. President Duncan, as well as being the first ever African-American woman to be elected to the Beloit City Council, to serve on the City Council, and myself as being the youngest African-American ever elected to the Beloit City Council. Also, as well as Andre Sales, our Beloit Police Chief, as I mentioned earlier, being the first ever African-American Police Chief of the City of Beloit. So it's a little bit of history here to mention on Black History Month. And last but not least, I am looking forward to working with Jerry, who will be arriving on the 20th. Jerry Gabrielos, if he's watching right now, I just want to say we're looking forward to working with you. The city is being ran pretty well. We're looking forward to bringing you in on the team. As far as the staff, the city council, and our residents, we're very thankful for you coming on board with us. And I just wanted to leave it there. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Trio. Vice President Forbeck.
Yes, just a couple things. I also attended the SLATS meeting about Highway 81 that runs all the way from 213 on the west, to Milwaukee Road. And I also wanted to make a comment to Brittany, who wrote in about not to enlarge our roads and make it even speedier. And I just wanted to remind her and to make sure everybody realizes that Beloit has been very busy doing the very opposite of that. We've gone down to 1 lane on Riverside Drive. We have really solved very, very well the horrible speeding that used to take place on Cranston between Park and Milwaukee Road. I live right there, so I know that we don't have anybody going 60 miles an hour on that area anymore, because it's gone down to 2 lanes and not 4. And if you had been at this SLATS meeting, you could see that one of the possible solutions we're going to have for people coming in from Milwaukee Road is going to be possibly another road diet. They haven't chosen this yet, but that's one of the proposals that's up for community review and comment. So I think that we have to know that we've got wonderful experts bringing up us just the best possible options for help. It's always difficult when you have a state road going through the middle of your community, but this is another attempt to make it as safe as it can be, even with those semis going through there. Also, I attended, of course, with Kevin Levy, a CDC meeting that was very involved and interesting, and we'll also be dealing with the ARPA funding decisions that we're going to be coming up a little later. And I just want to throw out that I am very excited about the new entertainment complex that I think is coming via the Hendricks to the west side of the river, and it's going to be fun for our younger people, and even our older people, are going to be able to have fun and just have some nice, clean entertainment that's going to be open for everybody. So it's going to be a very, very nice quality entertainment complex there. So I'm excited about that. And that's it. Too much good news.
Oh, that's wonderful news. Thank you, Vice President Forbeck. Now for my report. First, I want to begin by giving my condolences to the family of Vicki Lynn. Vicki was well known in Beloit for organizing the Black Women in Business Expo. This year, she had been promoting Black Her Story Day. Vicki was an inspiration to many and would do all she could to help people shine and reach their dreams. More importantly, Vicki had a big heart. She cared for her family and was the mom of the neighborhood. Her energy, humor, and kind spirit will truly be missed in our community, but not forgotten. Also, I want to send my deepest sympathy to Bill and Stephanie Barth and their family with the loss of Bill's dad. Let's keep them in our thoughts and prayers during this difficult time as well. Now for my counselor activities. I'll try to cover, I won't go through each one in depth, but I'll explain each one that I went to. I attended the Appointment Review Committee meeting. If you're interested in putting your talent to good use, please consider serving on a city commission. For more information, go to our city website or call 608-364-6614. That said, I also went to the School District of Beloit's Ford NGL Designation Day ceremony. The City of Beloit and the Greater Beloit Economic Development Corporation Board, we received 2 awards for our participation in their effort with their model for student success. So that was great. I also attended the Wisconsin State Public Defender Board meeting, the Plan Commission meeting, and the Plan Commission's tour of the Ironworks campus, which is the one that Vice President Forbeck talked about. That was wonderful. I also attended the Wisconsin Housing Preservation Corporation Board meeting, the district swearing-in ceremony for Senator Mark Spreitzer, and I was the first guest reader at Culver's to promote State Line Community Foundation's Literacy for Life Basics program in celebration of Culver's 25th anniversary. And last but not least, I met with Congressman Brian Stile. He will have a space in City Hall as a representative for Beloit and the Southern District. And before he was here, the previous person was Mark Pocan. Next, I want to thank the city staff for their dedication and hard work. Time after time, you come through, helping us to provide outstanding public service. I want each of you to know that our council and our city are truly appreciative of your efforts. I also want to commend Chief Sales for your statement in regard to the recent tragedy. Absolutely. There is lots happening in our world. I encourage everyone to please speak up when you see something happening that's not right. And I ask that you please take a moment to check on your neighbor and your friends and ask if they are okay. Also, it's been extremely cold outside. If you see an individual who's homeless, you can encourage them to call Sarah Hawthorne at 608-313-5135. Sarah is the Executive Director of Beloit Cares and can assist them. And remember, this is Black History Month. So let's join together in celebrating the achievements and the history of African Americans, especially those who are right here in Beloit. This ends my council report for this evening. Next, we'll go to item 11.
City Manager presentation.
I just wanted to briefly let the public know that the new city manager, Jerry Gabrielatos, will be starting in 2 weeks. So you'll have him here for your next meeting. So I just wanted to make everybody aware of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Item 12 is reports from boards and city officers. 12A is consideration of Resolution 2023-008, approving a memorandum of understanding between the Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin and the City of Beloit.
Next, we will have a presentation. I believe that, Stigler. Okay. Can you come forward and present to us this evening?
Good night. Stay safe.
Do you have any questions on it? It's pretty much the same as in previous years, I believe.
Can you introduce yourself for
I'm
members
sorry.
of the
I'm
public?
Assistant Chief Tom Stigler from the Police Department.
If I can, just for the record, we annually renew this contract with the Humane Society. We've had the contract with them for decades. It does provide some animal stray services for us, and so it's just a continuation of that agreement. And the refunds are budgeted in the 2023 budget for the police department.
Thank you, and I saw that, and that was going to be my question. You answered that. That's already in the budget. So I think this is a good thing for Beloit. So what we'll do is, may I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
I so move.
We have a motion by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second? Second. Second by Councilor Anderson. Any further questions or discussion?
No?
At this time, there's a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
12B, the city council may adjourn into closed session pursuant to section 19.85 sub 1 sub E Wisconsin statutes for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require closed session, namely 1, to consider potential sale of a portion of 400 Willowbrook Road, 2, to consider a funding request from Community Action Incorporated for an LIHTC renovation project at 431 Olympian Street, and 3, consideration of development of the city-owned properties Western Hills subdivision. The city council may thereafter reconvene into open session pursuant to section 19.85 sub 2 Wisconsin statute for possible action on matters discussed in closed session.
May I please have a motion to adjourn into closed session? Moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Terrell. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes. We will now go into closed session for discussion.
Resolution 2023. Yeah.
Everybody's got their coats on.
Everyone's nice and bundled up. Ready for the adjournment. Put your hat on. If you got a remote start your car now.
I'll get started once Counselor Blakely returns to the room. Okay. We are now in open session. We have one item that the council will take action on.
Go ahead.
And it's consideration of resolution 2023-018 approving the sale of a portion of 400 Willowbrook Road. City Attorney Krieger will present at this time.
Sure. We just discussed in closed session, Jason Turner from Pin and Meats is interested in purchasing a portion of 400 Willowbrook Road. He will be paying for the cost of the land division as well as some easement preparation documents. The city is protecting its interest by having a right of first refusal, and also if he were to not construct the building within 18 months, that the city does have the right to repurchase the property at that point. We believe we are positioned well to convey this property to him. It would be for $42,000 for the sales price. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Thank you very much. May I please have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Terrell, seconded by Councilor Levy. Are there any questions or discussion? At this time, there's a motion and a second to approve this resolution. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
So-
Moved by
second.
Councilor Levy, seconded by Terrell. Any questions or discussion? At this time, there's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes. We are now adjourned. This ends our council meeting.